and this is MUX Term 1310 Week 2 discussion video. And for this week's assignment, we were to take our prototype and go out and do some guerrilla testing on some users. And I kind of set myself behind this week. I made a really bad decision early in the week. I chose Interface 2 to make my prototype with, and I did kind of spend some time evaluating all of the tools that were in the actually in the screencast on the go to training on Monday night. And out of all of those, I felt like Interface 2 looked a little bit better than the other ones. Maybe that it just did some things, but that I thought were nice. But once I actually purchased it and downloaded, I quickly realized that you can't use very many gestures. There's no swipe gestures or anything like that. And Megan warned us that it was kind of a long learning curve, and it wasn't really that it was a learning curve. It's just there's some things in there that they really do that are just poorly designed in that app. And probably my biggest gripe was every single time I wanted to do anything, I had to go scroll through or search for the particular font that I was looking for. It wouldn't save the last font that you used or even put it at the top of the list because it was one that you used. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm not here to evaluate that application. But in the final hour, I realized that it would not export to Xcode, which was, of course, my that was the plan. Get the whole thing in there, get it prototyped out, export it to Xcode, and then that's it. I could do it. Well, in the end, the only thing in the application since the upgrade to iOS 7 that works for export is to export it to a PDF. So there and my troubles began. So I guess the short answer here is I would really. There's absolutely no way I would do this any other way than Xcode in the future. I mean, prototyping tools. When you read the hype about them or the little sales screens that they're trying to sell it to you with, oh, this is it. There's no programming involved. You just do this, do that. You'll put together a quick prototype. Well, you know what? We know how to program, so we don't need to do that. So in the future, I think I would have probably spent about half as much time if I had just done it with Xcode. But anyway, getting past all of that, I'm going to go ahead and fire up AirPlay on my iPad so that you can see what mine look like. And again, there's so little functionality that actually worked with it, so I just wasn't very happy with it. But Interface HD is actually the name of them, and this is again, you don't really even have the creative control to do things that you really want to do, so you're not able to make it look that great. So but this is it. When it starts out, my application is a medication tracker. I think we explained that all last week. So add event, you would go in and you would actually add an event, medication event, and then view events, where you would go into a table and you would see all of the events that were there. So in the add event, with this hokey interface with Interface 2 or Interface HD, they call it now, actually what's happening here, like if I hit name, it's not really anything there that's running. What it is, there's an invisible button that's just loading another view. That's all it is. So same thing, but I did that for these so you can at least get a little feel of it. And of course, that was one of the tasks that I was requiring the people, just to navigate to the page where you would add an event. And then the other one was to navigate to the page where you could view the events. So I had 3 events here that were pre-made, of course. And I did set it up to where if you selected one of those events, you could go into the details and see how that event worked. So, but again, it's just all this is we're just switching screens that are already pre-programmed. So I did put in a simulate alert so that it would pop up an alert and show you what that would look like. And then on the home page, I put a link to a settings page, and I created a Google form to collect all of my data. But of course, I quickly realized two things. First off, you can't navigate from this interface to an actual web page, or at least I didn't see how to. I don't think there's any functionality for that. I may have missed it, but as I was thinking about that, I realized my iPad doesn't have cellular anyway. It's just a Wi-Fi iPad, and I'm not going to be. People aren't going to be able to select a button. So I did have a button down here to go to the survey, but of course it wouldn't have worked anyway. So I did all of that stuff with paper. So in any case, go ahead and get rid of that, and getting on to what I learned today when I was out testing this with people. I had two particular people that I was looking for. I was looking for parents, so I thought Babies R Us would be a great place to go to do that. And then I was also looking for people that may have some type of a chronic illness where they might be taking medication on a regular basis. And so I went to CVS for that. And I don't want to make this thing go crazy, but I mean, overall experience, positive or negative, I felt it was very positive. I mean, I know that in reading all of this assignment, reading through it all, I can see that there's probably a big focus to get people to go out and do something like this. And you know what, this is kind of what I've done for 30 years, managing a 20-minute relationship with people. So I have no qualms about walking up to someone and talking to them. There were a couple of times that I thought maybe I might, somebody might steal my iPad, so I had to be somewhat selective. But not really a problem there. Now, the experience at CVS was really, really different than the experience at Babies R Us. In my plan, I put in there that I wanted to get an equal number of men and women, 4 and 4. So I figured that Babies R Us, it was going to be easy to get women to do this, so I better try to approach men at CVS. So typically the typical person that I talked to there was older, and I had to sift through a lot of people. I was there for a lot longer than I thought I was going to be there, and it took quite a while to find people, even maybe in their late 50s and early 60s, that knew anything about a smartphone. But anyway, moving forward, when I got over to Babies R Us to do the surveys on the women, I mean, man, I could have done 20 or 30 if I had the time. I mean, there was not a problem getting people to talk to you there. So I don't want to say it was difficult to accomplish this, but it did take a lot more time than I thought. I mean, I figured, man, this is going to be 2 hours, and not now. I mean, this really did take most of the afternoon. So where were the pain points? I felt like I probably said to people, this is a non-working prototype, so that's why the screens don't actually allow you to type in at least 50 times today. So that was really where the pain points are. I mean, I definitely through this whole experience for the entire week, and especially today, the one thing that I did get out of this for sure is I will never use a prototyping tool like this again. I mean, I'm going to just build this, build a front end in Xcode that works and go with it. And then, that's it. But it was pretty cool. It was neat to get some people's input. I mean, some people were just so far off base, when you would talk to them about maybe adding different features, and they could pull out. My whole idea behind this was to make it really, really simple. It serves one purpose, and I wanted to do it really, really well. And most people are like, "Oh yeah, that's cool, that's great," and they were really just there to see what was going on. They didn't have a big vested interest or anything. But I mean, there were people that were just you should add this and add that and do this and do that, and they kind of talk your ear off. But it was cool. I really enjoyed it. Anyway, I hope everyone had a great week, and I look forward to talking to you again next week. Thanks for watching.